Akonedi, the fierce and just warrior goddess of the Akan. The awakening of divine fury. Close your eyes and feel the ground tremble. These are not the sounds of ordinary battle. This is the approach of Akonedi, a force beyond mortal comprehension. She is no mere myth, no fading echo of a forgotten past. She is the heartbeat of divine justice, a warrior goddess who emerges when the balance of life is threatened. Imagine a power so fierce it can shatter mountains, yet so precise it can shield a single vulnerable child. In the sacred traditions of the Akan people of Ghana, Akonedi is not only remembered, she is invoked. She is lived. She is feared. She is revered. Akonedi is the living flame of the divine feminine, uncompromising in justice, yet overflowing with compassion. A force at once destructive to corruption and protective to the innocent. The spiritual essence of Akonedi. To speak of Akonedi is to enter a world that words can barely contain. She is more than a goddess. She is a living principle. A force that transcends myths, time, and even human understanding. The Akan people describe her not in singular terms, but in layers. A cosmic protector who stands guard over creation itself. A source of unyielding justice, cutting through lies like a blade through smoke. A transformer of spiritual energies, capable of turning chaos into balance. A guardian of the collective consciousness of our people. Her power is not destruction for its own sake. It is restoration, a spiritual surgery that cuts away rot so that life can flourish. Unlike the warrior gods of patriarchal traditions, Akonedi embodies a different vision of strength, one that is not about domination, but about balance. Her power shields the vulnerable, reveals hidden injustices, and heals the wounds that corrupt societies from within. She is fierce, yes, but hers is a ferocity in service of dignity. The oldest stories of the Akan speak of a time when the very fabric of life trembled. Disorder spread like wildfire, societies broken, injustices buried deep, voices silenced by oppression. It was then, say the elders, that Akonedi first appeared. Not as a figure to be worshipped from afar, but as a living force that surged into the hearts of the people. Witnesses described her as light and thunder fused into one. Radiating raw spiritual energy. Revealing hidden truths that no one dared to speak. Neutralizing powers that thrived on oppression. And, most mysteriously, healing not just bodies, but entire communities. Her very being was a composition of forces, primordial creative energy, the collective strength of women across generations, the stern face of justice, and the gentle hand of healing. Akonedi was not summoned. She was born of necessity, called forth when the world could no longer endure silence in the face of corruption. Manifestation and spiritual mechanics. Akonedi manifests in many forms. Sometimes, she is seen as the warrior, blade in hand, standing against corruption. Other times, she is the judge, exposing what society has hidden in shadows. She can be the healer, mending the broken spirit of a village. Or she may appear as the protector, shielding the most vulnerable from harm. Each form is not random, but perfectly tuned to the moment. Her interventions demonstrate an intelligence that goes beyond human reasoning. Traditional priests say Akonedi can penetrate the deepest of defenses, reading the truth behind every human action. She sees motives, not just deeds. She distinguishes between the cruelty of systems and the weakness of individuals. In her gaze, no mask can survive. And when she acts, it is not punishment alone, it is transformation. To call upon Akonedi was never about vengeance. It was about healing the whole. When her spirit revealed corruption, it was not merely to strike down the guilty, but to awaken the community. Her justice was collective. She pulled injustices into the light, then provided a path to restoration, so that the community itself might grow stronger. Through Akonedi, the Akan people envisioned what some now call a spiritual social technology, a method of ensuring that dignity and integrity were preserved. Unlike punitive systems that isolate and destroy, Akonedi's justice restored and renewed. She was not a goddess of punishment. She was a goddess of transformation. Interaction with human practitioners. Priests and priestesses could call upon Akonedi, but never command her. To seek her presence was an act of humility. It required respect, devotion, and above all, integrity. Rituals were performed not to control her, but to signal a genuine need. Communities would gather, demonstrating moral clarity, collective unity, and an openness to truth. But such invocation came with a cost. Akonedi demanded absolute honesty. She demanded that those who called her name be prepared to face truths they might not wish to hear. She demanded not selfish petitions, but collective transformation. To invoke her was to step into fire, not to be destroyed, but to be remade. Modern thinkers have drawn surprising parallels between Akonedi's ancient wisdom and the frontiers of science. She is described as embodying non-local consciousness, able to exist beyond space and time. Like quantum fields, her presence is everywhere, connecting the visible with the invisible. She processes not line by line, but as a hologram, where every part contains the whole. To the Akan, she was mystery. To modern scholars, she may be a glimpse of universal truth, that consciousness itself is a force, capable of healing, guiding, and transforming. Akonedi reminds us that justice is not simply linear cause and effect. It is web-like, interconnected. What harms one, harms all. What heals one, heals many. In today's world, scarred by inequality, corruption, and conflict, the wisdom of Akonedi feels more urgent than ever. She challenges systems built on domination, offering instead a model rooted in restoration. She reminds us that true power is not conquest, but protection. Not vengeance, but transformation. Young scholars, healers, and spiritual leaders are rediscovering her presence, applying her lessons to modern struggles. From community healing circles to movements for justice, Akonedi's spirit still whispers, restore, protect, transform. She is not bound to the past. She is alive in every act of courage, every call for justice, every healing hand extended in compassion. Though born in the traditions of the Akan, Akonedi speaks a universal language. She teaches that true power is not gendered, it is the essence of creation itself. Consciousness is inherently healing. Justice cannot exist without compassion. Transformation is not an individual journey, it is a collective awakening. She is both the fire that destroys corruption and the water that heals wounds. She is balance embodied. The eternal flame. As the war drums quiet, and the echoes of her presence fade into the night, remember this. Akonedi is more than a myth. She is more than a story. She is the eternal flame of the divine feminine, untamed, unbroken, unyielding. Her lesson is simple, yet eternal. True strength is not found in destruction, but in the power to heal, to protect, and to transform. And so, our voice still calls to us, across centuries and across worlds. The question is not whether Akonedi still speaks. The question is, are we willing to listen?